Former President Donald Trump is enraged after reports came out that he may actually face criminal charges in the Stormy Daniels hush money case. So, look, I'm just going to approach this story with a little bit of skepticism. Not in the idea that he didn't actually pay hush money. He did, and Michael Cohen went to prison for it, but the fact that he would be held accountable for it. With that said, let's get to the details. Reports emerged Thursday that Trump had been asked to appear before a Manhattan grand jury that is considering charging him for his role in the hush money payment made to Stephanie Clifford, also known as Stormy Daniels, through former fixer Michael Cohen. Taken to Truth Social, Trump called this a political witch hunt, the weaponization of our judicial system, you know, the usual rantings and ravings of a lunatic. He also then, of course, went after Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg, calling him like a left-wing radical, you know, again, the same things, saying pretty disparaging things about Daniels' appearance. Funny that he would do such a thing. And then also saying that he had won lawsuits for hundreds of thousands of dollars against Daniels. Now, is that the case? Well, yeah, that's a reference to her failed libel suit in which she was charged to pay, I believe, $300,000 in his fees for, again, that case. Now, this was over a tweet suggesting that she had lied when she said she faced intimidation to keep quiet about the alleged affair she had with Trump in 2006. That's where we get, of course, the horrible details about Donald Trump's manhood that we really didn't want to hear about.
Tallywhacker.
But anyway, okay. So now here's the thing, though. Why would you bring this up as a comparison? Libel and defamation, those lawsuits have a very high bar. You would have to prove that they would lie. And this is, again, Daniels had to prove that Trump had lied about this with malicious intent. However, that tweet was ruled to be nothing more than his opinion. So it's a bit different than what was going on here. In this case, prosecutors are likely to argue that the Trump organization effectively made an illegal donation to Trump's campaign when it reimbursed Michael Cohen for the hush money payment he had given to Stormy Daniels. So in this case, we are not dealing with an opinion. We are dealing with an unauthorized payment, an illegal payment. So illegal that Michael Cohen, as I mentioned before, went to prison for it. Donald Trump, of course, his co-conspirator, did not. Now, that said, for all of you thinking that, yes, finally, lock him up, I wouldn't celebrate yet. Remember, this these potential charges have not been filed yet. He hasn't been indicted. And the person leading this is Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg, who had previously, backed away from a case in which two former lawyers, prosecutors in New York, in the Manhattan DA office, said, we have the organization dead to rights. Bragg dropped the case. So I don't have a lot of faith here, okay? And that said, Trump seems to have a knack for getting away with a lot of things that most people would not. So understand my cautiousness about this, okay? Now, I know there are other investigations in Fulton County, for example, that's in Georgia. Fani Willis is a prosecutor probing his role in seeking to overturn his loss in that state during the 2020 election. The famous call where he was asking for just one more vote than what he needs to win the state. Find me more votes. He's also being probed by the Department of Justice. And of course, there's a $250 million lawsuit against the organization, him, and his children by New York District Attorney Letitia James, which is, of course, a civil suit. Now, in this case, this is a criminal trial, or would be a criminal trial, in relation to this illegal hush money payment. But again, I'm going to be very, very cautious about this because, look, there's a ton of ways that Trump uses to try to weasel his way out of power. And there are people out there that are helping him. Let me go to Georgia, for example. So Fani Willis is doing this investigation, and well, you look at that. Republicans are looking to pass a law that would create a commission to remove prosecutors. They could just vote to remove prosecutors that are elected. Seems like a bit of a direct response there. And as I mentioned Bragg before, and Merrick Garland, I don't have a lot of faith in Merrick Garland because he seems rather weak. A little weak to take on Trump. And I think there's a lot of officials that are afraid of taking on Donald Trump, whether it because he's got so much backing among the Republican base, or it just is very good at somehow manipulating the legal system in order to get out of things. I don't know. So with that, I just don't have a lot of faith that Donald Trump will end up facing criminal consequences. My whole approach to it is basically, I'll believe it when I see it.